Spoken earlier, Deputy Minister for Higher Education and Training, Yusuf Cassim, has stepped in to help students raise their concerns directly with Professor Hlengani Mathebula, the administrator of the National Student Financial Aid Scheme. Now, some of the issues include delayed allowance payments, unresolved funding appeals, and frozen funding during gap investigations. The Deputy Minister of Higher Education and Training, Yusuf Cassim, now joins us to talk more about some of these issues. Deputy Minister, thank you so much for your time. Let's get straight into it. Now, NSFAS says thousands of students were affected by gap investigations. Now, by when can all these outstanding cases realistically be resolved, and how will you ensure that that deadline is met?
Lapang, it really depends on the categories of students that are under gap investigation. There were around over 10,000 students that were initially affected.
Yeah.
Just over 2,300 of them have since been reinstated and have had their funding reinstated. And then there are around 1,500 UNISA students, which the administrator has committed to me would be finalized by today.
Yeah.
And there are other students who have had their N+ rule, which is the academic qualification rule that is used by NSFAS to determine whether or not you're still academically qualified to be funded, incorrectly calculated. Those are students, for example, like the students on the extended program at the Nelson Mandela University, and I had received a commitment that that particular cohort would be addressed with urgency, and there was a team that has since been working on that. There is then, Lapang, a cohort of over 4,000 students that NSFAS has said they do not have the academic progression data sets in order to finalize the investigations. And I, of course, expressed my own displeasure that this matter has been outstanding for 3 to 5 months.
Yeah.
And I have asked that the list of students and the institutions who have not provided those data sets be provided to the Department of Higher Education University branch with urgency, so that the department can assist NSFAS in order to acquire the necessary information in order to finalize those investigations. Second semester is starting next week, and students cannot still be left in limbo in the manner in which they have been left at the moment.
Now, Deputy Minister, now you had raised concerns about second semester registration at UNISA. Now, this was because of the funding deficit. Now, can you guarantee that no eligible student will miss registration due to these delays by NSFAS?
Unfortunately, I cannot give that guarantee. This is yet another aspect of the work of NSFAS that has been unnecessarily delayed. When we interrogated why that submission to the ministry has not been finalized, there were a number of reasons given that, quite frankly, Lapang, I don't believe were satisfactory. And therefore, we have urged the administrator to finalize his submission to the ministry to ensure that there can be guidance given in this respect. And we will be following up in this respect on Monday to see whether or not that submission has been made.
Now, many of these problems, your late allowances, your slow appeals, as well as unresolved queries, have persisted for years. Now, what changes will students see this semester that will convince them that NSFAS is finally improving?
So we have committed to the administrator, Lapang, that we are there to support any action that will ensure that the entity, which is NSFAS, is more effective and efficient.
Yeah.
And my own help desk, the DM's help desk that resides in my office, is working very diligently to ensure that the issues of students are addressed and dealt with. There has been some successes. The CUT students who had not received the off-campus allowances for accommodation in unaccredited residences, a team has already been dispatched in order to deal with that issue. And there have been other issues in which we have demanded that there is movement in that respect. But the jury is still out on the work that is being done, and we are there to support. We are there to work constructively and collaboratively in order to find solutions to the issues that is affecting the entity. Of course, it was the minister's decision to place the entity under administration, and we must support that process in the interest of our students. The last thing that I will just say is that there are serious policy and legislative issues that need to be addressed over the coming year. And the review of the NSFAS Act is an opportunity for Parliament to be able to review the legislation and to ensure that we can deal with some of the deep-seated issues.
Minister, very quickly, I have to sneak this one in. We've seen over the past few years, students basically misusing their funding. We have problems such as gambling addiction, for example, your online betting as well. What is the department doing to ensure that a lot of awareness is taken to these students, as well as those who need help with some of the misusing of their funding?
There are a number of programs, Lapang, through many of the department's partners and entities, one of which is taking place through Higher Health, and there are many others in order to ensure that students are supported. Institutions themselves have their own programs in this respect, but at the end of the day, the taxpayer wants to know that the investment being made is being used for the purposes that it is intended for. And that is why that the policy rules which govern the fund need to ensure that you have a watertight set of controls that will support students in order to succeed academically and prevent the kind of abuse that could take place where those controls haven't been tightened up sufficiently.
Deputy Minister, thank you so much for your time. Yusuf Cassim, Deputy Minister of Higher Education and Training, there discussing the gap investigations as well as some of the concerns that have been raised by NSFAS beneficiaries.